The Euphrates has been the cradle of civilization in West Asia. The river has been the lifeline for millions in Iraq and Syria.
Along with the drying up of the Euphrates River, many ancient discoveries have emerged.
He said this citing 3 consecutive years of low precipitation and reduced river flow.
Step into a realm where legends and prophecies collide with reality. A place where the sands of time have revealed an enigma that has left the world spellbound. Behold the once mighty Euphrates River, now a mere memory of its former glory. But what has risen from its desiccated bed is nothing short of breathtaking, an awe-inspiring sight that has left experts scratching their heads and visitors awestruck. Join us in today's video as we unravel the mystery of the Golden Mountains that have emerged from the long-forgotten depths of the Euphrates River and delve into the secrets that lie within. Are you ready to embark on this extraordinary adventure? Then let us begin. The Tigris, the mighty river that runs through Mesopotamia, is well known, but its sibling, the Euphrates, is equally significant. It's the westernmost of the two and holds a special place in history. In biblical lore, it's the river that flows through the Promised Land, bestowed by God to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and their descendants. The Euphrates River played a vital role in ancient civilization, providing water to Sumer, where the first civilization flourished around 3000 BC. Many significant ancient cities, such as Mari, Sippar, Nippur, Uruk, and Ur, were located on or near its banks. Stretching approximately 1,730 miles or 2,780 kilometers in length, the Euphrates River is formed when the Kara, the western Euphrates, and the Murat, the eastern Euphrates rivers meet. The Kara originates from the Armenian highlands in eastern Turkey, while the Murat originates from an area southwest of Mount Ararat and north of Lake Van. The upper Euphrates flows through steep canyons and gorges, then takes a southeastern course across Syria and into Iraq. Along the way, the Kabur and Balik rivers from Turkey flow into the Euphrates in eastern Syria. However, downstream, along the entire length of the river, no more water flows into the Euphrates. In southern Iraq, just north of Basra, the Euphrates River joins forces with the Tigris, forming the majestic Shat al-Arab, a waterway that flows into the vastness of the Persian Gulf. This region, once adorned with lush marshes and channels branching out from Basra, was a thriving ecosystem. However, in the 1990s, the marshes fell victim to Saddam Hussein's government, which drained them in a devastating effort to suppress the rebellious Marsh Arabs. Since the invasion of Iraq in 2003, the drainage policy has seen some changes, but the fate of the marshes remains uncertain. The river, with its shallow draft that only allows boats to travel as far upstream as the city of Hit, presents unique challenges for navigation. Above Hit, the river becomes tumultuous with rocks and rapids, rendering it unsuitable for commercial use. Yet despite its challenges, the Euphrates River has been tamed with dams and reservoirs in the upper reaches to mitigate the annual floods that once plagued the region. According to ancient scriptures, the Euphrates River holds a significant place in religious beliefs. In the book of Genesis, it is mentioned as one of the 4 rivers that flow out of the Garden of Eden, preceding the Tigris. It is also referred to as the river in the Hebrew Bible, signifying its prominence in the region. The root meaning of Euphrates in Hebrew is to flow out, which is a literal representation of its ever-changing nature. The intrigue surrounding the Euphrates River doesn't end there. In the book of Revelation, it is prophesied that this mighty river, known as Patamos Euphrates, meaning breaking forth like water, will dry up in the near future, before the Battle of Armageddon. But on the other hand, what do Islamic prophecies mention regarding the Mountain of Gold and the Euphrates River? According to Islamic beliefs, the Euphrates River holds significance in Islamic eschatology, which is the study of the end times and the final events that will occur in the future according to Islamic teachings. In Islamic eschatology, it is believed that the Euphrates River will play a major role in events that signal the end of the world. In Islamic tradition, it is believed that when the Day of Judgment is approaching, the Euphrates River will uncover a mountain of gold, and people will flock to it in pursuit of wealth. This event is seen as a sign of the end times and is mentioned in various hadiths, sayings and actions of Prophet Muhammad as a significant event that will precede the Day of Judgment. According to the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, it is said that the river will one day dry up, revealing a hidden treasure that will trigger conflict and strife. As narrated in Sahih Bukhari, soon the river Euphrates will reveal the mountain of treasure. At that time, anyone who is there should not take anything from it. Similarly, Sahih Muslim states, the hour will not come until the river Euphrates dries up and shows the mountain of gold, for which people will fight. The intensity of the conflict is described in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, where it is mentioned that in the midst of the fighting, each person will fear being the last one standing, as if the world has come down to a single survivor. And during this time when the mountain of gold appears in the Euphrates River, there will be other major signs, such as the appearance of the Antichrist, Dajjal, and the coming of the Mahdi. According to Islamic beliefs, Dajjal, also known as the false Messiah or Antichrist, is a malevolent figure who is said to emerge in the end times as a great deceiver. It is believed that Dajjal will spread corruption and chaos, claiming to be a divine figure and attempting to lead people astray from the true path of Islam. However, it is believed that a figure known as Mahdi, who is also known as the Guided One, will appear to counter Dajjal's mischief and establish justice and righteousness on earth. Mahdi is believed to be a righteous leader who will come to restore faith, promote virtue, and combat evil. According to Islamic teachings, Mahdi will lead the believers in a struggle against falsehood and oppression, ultimately establishing a period of peace and justice before the end times. These prophecies paint a vivid picture of a monumental event that will captivate the imaginations of believers and provoke curiosity about the hidden treasures and ensuing chaos they may bring. Moreover, the mighty Euphrates River, once the lifeblood of Mesopotamia, is now almost gone, suffocated by hydroelectric plants in Turkey and Iran. Thousands of Iraqis who call the riverbanks their home are facing an uncertain future as seasonal droughts and ineffective management practices threaten their way of life. Climate change has made this region even more vulnerable, with research predicting a decline of up to 73% in water volume due to reduced precipitation in Iraq. As water levels drop, the salty tides from the Persian Gulf are creeping into the once fertile river deltas, contaminating fields and killing livestock, leaving farmers struggling to survive. They are faced with the difficult choice of giving up their land, selling malnourished cattle at low prices, and migrating to the cities or waiting for a lackluster response from the government. Despite the dire situation, the political conflicts in Baghdad have overshadowed the challenges faced by those on the river's periphery. Accurate data on displacement is hard to come by, as many newcomers to the cities remain anonymous, but reports from the ground reveal rising social tensions between city dwellers and rural transplants. Plastic shanty towns have sprung up on the outskirts of Basra in southern Iraq as refugees seek work in the city, only to find that jobs are often transient and inadequate. It takes time for newcomers to adjust to this harsh reality, where they are viewed as burdens on public resources and accused of bringing in criminal activity and customs that clash with the locals' way of life. To make matters worse, instead of taking responsibility for their political failures, municipal officials in southern Iraq are blaming the influx of migrants for their problems. These newcomers, who have settled in cities along the Euphrates River, are being held accountable for power outages and fuel shortages, despite not being fully integrated into the society. With no signs of the refugee situation improving anytime soon, approximately 85 miles of the riverbank have turned into barren land due to increasing salinity from the Gulf of Mexico. Climate experts are warning that this crisis is just a precursor of what's to come in the future, as the severity of the situation in southern Iraq is only escalating. Aid organizations estimate that in the coming months, 12 million people in Iraq and Syria will be deprived of basic necessities like food, water, and energy. Meanwhile, an even more dire situation is unfolding in Egypt, where a massive hydroelectric project by neighboring countries threatens to devastate 75% of Egypt's fish farms, potentially displacing around 30 million people, the largest refugee crisis in history. Even if the project is cancelled, Egypt will still face challenges such as a growing population and environmental degradation, similar to other countries in the region. Resolving this crisis requires more than just collaborative efforts among Middle Eastern neighbours. It demands sustainable solutions addressing the root causes of the issue. While wars and elections dominate headlines, our global economy continues to rely heavily on fossil fuels like oil and natural gas, and time is running out to reverse the damage. Climate change will undoubtedly disrupt social and cultural norms, as seen in Iraq's current social instability, which has been exacerbated by poor harvests and starvation. Desperate people in dire situations will do what it takes to provide for their loved ones, and groups like ISIS have preyed on this vulnerability for years, offering quick cash and protection where governments have failed. This pattern could potentially be replicated by other terrorist groups. Droughts inevitably lead to displacement, tension, crime, and recruitment, which could be the beginning stages of a collapse for riverbanks that once saw the birth of civilization 8,000 years ago. An ironic twist of events. Now let's hear your thoughts about Euphrates River in the comments section below.